Across the world's high mountains and polar regions, glaciers once stood as slow-moving rivers of ice, carving valleys, storing water, and serving as silent witnesses to the passage of time. But today, these ancient giants are disappearing at an alarming rate. The story of melting glaciers is not only a tale of receding ice, but also a warning of profound changes to our planet's climate, landscapes, and way of life. Over the past 2 decades, scientists have tracked an accelerating loss of glacial ice. From 2000 to 2023, glaciers worldwide collectively shed about 6.5 trillion tons of ice, an almost unimaginable amount. This loss has translated into a nearly 2-centimeter rise in global sea levels. While 2 centimeters may seem modest, it is significant when spread across the vast expanse of the world's oceans, and it is only the beginning. Each year, an average of 273 billion tons of ice is lost, a rate that has increased by more than a third since the turn of the millennium. The impacts of this retreat are visible in almost every region with glaciers. In Europe, the change is particularly stark. Glaciers in the Alps have shrunk by about 40% since 2000. The Rhone Glacier in Switzerland, once a mighty sheet of ice, now resembles a giant block of Swiss cheese. Large holes and internal cavities have formed, the result of rapid melting and the infiltration of warm air and water. These changes are not just aesthetic, they pose real dangers. As ice melts, it can destabilize slopes, triggering landslides and rockfalls. Flooding becomes more likely as meltwater pools behind weakened natural dams, threatening downstream communities. In South America, Argentina's Perito Moreno Glacier has become both a spectacle and a source of concern. Tourists gather to watch huge blocks of ice calve, break off into the water, creating thunderous crashes and towering waves. While these natural events have always occurred, the frequency and scale of ice loss are increasing, signaling deeper changes within the glacier itself. The crisis is not limited to specific countries or continents. In Asia, the Himalayan glaciers, often called the water towers of the world, are receding at record rates. These glaciers feed rivers that supply water to nearly 2 billion people. In some places, ancient villages are being forced to relocate as the loss of ice reshapes the land and dries up once reliable streams. For the people living in these regions, the retreat of glaciers is not just an environmental issue. It is a direct threat to their way of life, their farms, and their future. Why are glaciers melting so quickly? The primary factor is the warming of our planet. Global climate change driven by rising greenhouse gas emissions. Glaciers are especially sensitive indicators of temperature changes. Even small increases in average temperature can tip the balance, causing more ice to melt in the summer than is replaced by snowfall in the winter. Over time, this imbalance leads to a net loss of ice. Other factors, such as changes in precipitation patterns and the darkening of ice surfaces due to pollution or soot, can accelerate the process. The consequences reach far beyond rising sea levels. Glaciers act as natural reservoirs, slowly releasing water during the dry months. In many regions, this meltwater is essential for agriculture, drinking supply, and even hydropower generation. As glaciers shrink, their ability to buffer seasonal water flows diminishes. In the short term, increased melting may cause flooding and landslides. But in the longer term, as the glaciers become smaller, rivers may run dry during crucial periods, putting entire communities at risk. The loss of glaciers also has profound ecological impacts. Many cold water species depend on the steady flow of glacial meltwater. As the water warms and its flow becomes erratic, these species may struggle to survive. The retreat of glaciers also exposes new land, changing habitats and altering the balance of ecosystems that have evolved over centuries. Culturally and spiritually, glaciers hold deep significance for many communities. They are woven into local legends, religious practices, and identities. Their disappearance is not only an environmental tragedy, but also the loss of a vital connection to heritage and history. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the United Nations has declared 2025 the International Year of Glaciers Preservation. This initiative aims to raise global awareness about the critical role glaciers play in sustaining life on Earth. It is a call to action for governments, communities, and individuals to protect these irreplaceable resources. But what can be done to slow or halt the melting of glaciers? At the global level, the most important step is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to clean energy, improving energy efficiency, and protecting forests that absorb carbon dioxide. At the local level, communities can work to monitor glacial changes, adapt water management strategies, and prepare for the challenges ahead. Scientists and engineers are also exploring innovative approaches. In Switzerland, for example, large blankets have been used to cover parts of glaciers during the summer, reflecting sunlight and slowing melting. While these methods may buy time, they are not long-term solutions. Ultimately, preserving glaciers will require concerted action to address the root causes of climate change. The retreat of the world's glaciers is both a warning and an opportunity. It reminds us that the Earth's systems are interconnected, that what happens in the remote mountains or polar regions can have consequences for cities, farms, and families thousands of miles away. It challenges us to rethink our relationship with the natural world and to act with urgency and responsibility. As we look to the future, the choices we make today will determine the fate of the glaciers. Will we continue down a path of unchecked warming, or will we come together to protect these ancient rivers of ice for generations to come? The answer lies in our collective will to act, to innovate, and to honor the remarkable legacy of the world's glaciers. Their story is still being written, and it is up to all of us to shape the next chapter.